It happened in the crowded hallway between third and fourth period, where students usually rushed past each other, heads down, books clutched close, trying to get to class before the bell. But that day, time stopped for a moment no one would forget. A hand reached where it shouldn't have. And everything changed. Maya had always kept to herself. The quiet girl with the long black hair tied in a low ponytail, earbuds always in, eyes scanning the floor, not out of fear, but by choice. Nobody really knew her. They just assumed she was shy, maybe even weak. They were wrong. When Josh, the so-called king of Westbrook High, crossed the line that day, his laughter echoed through the hall. His friends followed, egging him on, clapping him on the back like it was all just a joke. They had no idea who Maya really was. They didn't know she'd spent 6 years training in Krav Maga and Muay Thai, or that her mother was an ex-Special Forces instructor who believed in teaching her daughter to survive in a world that didn't always play fair. But even for someone like Maya, this wasn't just about fighting. This was about something deeper, something that twisted in her stomach and burned in her chest. It wasn't just the violation of her body, it was the humiliation, the way the hallway erupted in whispers, the way eyes flicked to her and then away, too scared to say anything, too weak to stop it. Her heart raced. Her breath sharpened. But her mind? It was calm. Cold. Focused. Without turning around, she grabbed Josh's wrist, the one that had crossed the line, and twisted it so fast, so precise, that his knees buckled. His laughter cut off mid-breath. "I'm going to give you 1 second to apologize," she whispered, voice steady, eyes locked onto his in a way that made him forget how to breathe. His friends laughed nervously, thinking it was still a game. Maya snapped his wrist back further. A sickening crack echoed through the hall. Josh screamed. Suddenly, it wasn't funny anymore. Students froze. Phones came out. The scene unfolded in viral clips later that day, but what no video could capture was the raw electricity in that moment. This wasn't just a fight. It was a message. "You don't get to touch people like that," Maya said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Ever. Security rushed in. Teachers yelled. But it was too late, the damage was done. Not to Maya, but to Josh's reputation. The king had been dethroned, broken by the girl he thought was invisible. The principal called Maya into the office. They tried to talk about appropriate responses, about school policy. But Maya's mother was already there, standing behind her, arms crossed, eyes fierce. "My daughter defended herself," she said simply. "And we're not sorry." For the next few days, the school buzzed. Some whispered that Maya went too far. Others, mostly girls, came up to her quietly, thanking her, telling her about times they'd been touched without permission and had stayed silent because they were scared. Maya listened. She didn't gloat. She didn't post about it. She just kept showing up to school the next day, chin up, knowing she had changed something, not just for herself, but for every girl who had ever felt powerless in that hallway. Josh's friends? They learned fast. They kept their hands to themselves. As for Josh, his caste would heal. But the lesson? That would stay with him forever. The real challenge for Maya wasn't the fight, it was carrying the weight of what happened afterward. Facing the stares, the rumors, the labels. But she held her ground. She knew this world didn't change unless someone stood up and forced it to. In the weeks that followed, the school invited guest speakers. Consent workshops were organized. Students began to speak out when they saw harassment instead of staying silent. Maya didn't become popular. She didn't need to. She became respected. And in quiet moments, when she wrapped her hands for training at the gym, she remembered something her mother always told her. Sometimes, the strongest fighters aren't the ones who throw punches, they're the ones who teach the world not to throw the first one. Maya never wanted to be a hero. But she became one anyway.